G'day guys, it's Ralph here, and today we're going to photograph the Glass House Mountains, which is the southern end of the Gold Coast. Now, I looked up why they're called the Glass House Mountains, and James Cook, when he was doing his first voyage in, saw them in the distance from the sea, obviously, where the boat was, and he named them the Glass House Mountains. And he did that because I have no idea. Because when I was looking on Google, the writing was so tiny. Like, what sort of web page is this? I can't read that, so I didn't. So I'm not sure why. But if you know why, put it below. While you're at it, if you want to give us a thumbs up or a subscribe, go nuts. So I came out here today. I've never been here before, which seems to be thematic of my photography adventures. Photographers will tell you to well research where you're going. That is a very good idea. My approach, however, is sometimes a little bit different. I tend to see things that I go, I should go back there, and when I go back there I tap my camera and I take photographs. I think my personality is not the persuasion to go and look at somewhere for a long time without a camera in order to go back with a camera. However, I'm always on the lookout. So when we were driving up to Caloundra, I noticed there was the Glass House Mountains lookout that I thought I need to come back here at some point. And then during the week, there's been a lot of fog around. So I realized one morning, i.e. today, I would come out here, wait till the sun comes up. And as you can tell, there is no sun at the moment whatsoever. Put the bird in the air and get some epic footage and some great images of the Glass House Mountains. Know what they look like, I'll put up a photo now so we're all on the same page. That's them in the background. That's One Tree Hill in the foreground, but they're in the background. I've just done a video on One Tree Hill, which I'll link to at the end of this video, so you can just go straight there and roll from this one into that one if you haven't seen that one already and you're interested. So it's about 5:45, I think, and I'm waiting for the sun to come up, which will take a while because it's pretty black out there. This is the beauty of this time of the year. You get to shoot at a reasonable hour. In the middle of summer, you have to get up at 3 a.m, sometimes even earlier. So this is really, really nice at the moment. Oh, so I've come out, it's a fresh morning, but gosh, the sky looks beautiful, as you can tell from behind me. When you're shooting with this sort of options, basically you've got the horn here, and then if we swing around here, you've got a couple more mountains just in the background with some fog lying in the valley. You can't possibly capture it all in a wide angle image. So the best way to tackle these from a landscape perspective is with a zoom lens. And so I'm shooting with my Nikon 70-200 zoom lens, which gives these sort of results. So that's at 70. And then if I go back a couple, you'll see that's at 200. So it looks fabulous, doesn't it? I'm shooting on 2.8 aperture, and the reason for that is because it's still very dark, and so trying to get as much light in as possible. If you look at that shot, you will see that tree in the foreground is sitting in exactly the wrong place to complement the composure of what's happening in the background. And so what you can do is go, oh, I can't compose that shot, I don't know what to do. But if we take literally 3 meters and we move over here, it places that tree bang on where we need it to be in our composition, so as not to ruin the skyline. And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to take a shot from here and compare the two shots. You tell me what you think. see that mountain over there that has a cloud on it? That's right, the one you're staring at. Often it's great to make that cloud more blurry, so you have this kind of blurry cut through thing. And the way you do that, if you don't have any filters, is you stop up your aperture. So you put your aperture to the highest range it will go. So mine's 22. You put it up to that, which then enables you, because there's less light coming in, to decrease your shutter speed to 15, 20, 25, 30 seconds even, that enables that cloud that's moving quite quickly to become blurred out and look really cool. I'll show you an image of that right now. It's a good little handy trick to have if you don't have a filter kit, but you'd still like to make the most of your camera's long exposure capacity. When shooting an image like this, you might look this way and go, that's really pretty. If you just look behind me, you go, that's really pretty, but there's no light there. So whilst it looks pretty to your eye, when you put it in the camera frame, it doesn't have the same appeal, because your view is informed by all the surrounding information that your camera can't pick up on. And so it's important to follow the light. And so the light is just here. It's focusing on there. It's creating some beautiful backlitness, which is what I've done. I've pointed my camera over there, and I'll show you an image of what I've just been able to pull up. Looks really, really pretty. The light is gradually coming up. It doesn't look like we're going to have an amazing sunrise, but again, that's not that important, because that's not why I'm here. It's important to follow the light when you're doing this sort of photography. You could look at something and it looks really, really pretty, but the problem is it's informed by all the other information that your eyes take in around that gives it context. With a photograph, you lose the context, which is why photography is important to capture that context. But sometimes the context is too wide. Here, the context is enormous and so impossible. So therefore, you need to follow the light. And so if we go over here, this is the direction that I'm shooting at the moment, because I want to capture the beautiful colors in the sunrise behind it, which illuminates that part of the glass mountains really, really brilliantly, and therefore distills a beauty that you can see with your naked eye that in other spaces you can't take hold of. One of the challenges is focusing. I've talked about this a bunch of times. Focusing in these really low light conditions is really tricky. So basically, you pull up your live view, you punch in on the zoom, and then you manually focus on something that's quite sharp. So it might be the ridge of a mountain or a tree or something like that. And then once you've got that sharpened, you put it to manual focus and you're good to go for that shot. You need to remember, for all other shots, you then need to do the same thing. Otherwise, you end up with one really in focus and the rest completely blurry, which is totally frustrating. So don't do that. When you're shooting with the telephoto lens and it's landscape, you want to take vibration reduction off, because vibration reduction is an internal gimbal. So when it's all stationary, as this is on a tripod, it doesn't do you any favors. In fact, it blurs the image. And then what I do, if I don't have my shutter release, I put it on a 2-second timer, and that way when you shoot, it takes off all the vibration and then takes the shot, rather than it risking you. Watch this, when I touch, see that? It just slightly moves when I press the button, and you don't want that, because it'll make things blurry that could otherwise be really, really sharp. Oh, well, the flight was quite a success. My gear is strewn out all over the place. The sun has come up. The sunrise wasn't glorious, but the drone footage was, as you've seen already. Thanks for joining me. I hope you've picked up some tips and enjoyed the Glasshouse Mountains. It's a beautiful spot to come and experience if you're ever up toward the sunny coast. This little outlook, you can see 270 degrees all the way around. So come enjoy, come take some photos. If you haven't already, subscribe below, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.